Have you ever wondered why life sometimes seems to be an unending cycle of suffering? It's a question that often hangs in the air around us, a thought that lingers in the back of our minds. Suffering, it seems, is an inescapable part of the human experience. It's as universal as the air we breathe, as inevitable as the passage of time. We all encounter suffering in one form or another. It might be the sting of loss, the bitter taste of failure, or the crushing weight of disappointment. These experiences, as varied as they are, all share a common thread. They cause us pain, they make us question, they make us suffer. But here's an interesting perspective. While we don't always have control over what causes our suffering, we do have a say in how we respond to it. Despite our personal hardships, we have a choice on how we respond to our suffering. How we respond to suffering can either amplify it or lessen it, not just for us, but for those around us too. Let's consider two individuals, person A and person B. Both are experiencing their own share of suffering. Person A, in their anguish, lashes out at others, transferring their pain onto them. In contrast, person B, despite their suffering, chooses to respond with kindness and understanding. Person A's actions are perhaps understandable. After all, suffering is a heavy burden to bear. Yet, by choosing to inflict pain on others, person A is not alleviating their own suffering. Instead, they are creating a cycle of negativity that only serves to amplify their pain. As they hurt others, they become more isolated and misunderstood, which in turn exacerbates their suffering. Now let's consider person B. Despite their own pain, they make the conscious decision to treat others with kindness. This doesn't mean they ignore or suppress their suffering. Rather, they acknowledge it, but choose not to let it dictate their actions. By doing so, they break the cycle of negativity and create a more positive environment for themselves and others. Their kindness might even inspire others to act with empathy and understanding, contributing to a ripple effect of positivity. The consequences of these two approaches are clear. Person A's decision to inflict pain on others ultimately led to greater suffering for themselves. On the other hand, person B's choice to respond with kindness not only helped mitigate their own suffering, but also fostered a more positive environment for those around them. This isn't to say that person B's path is easy. It requires strength, resilience, and a deep understanding that our actions have consequences. Yet it is a path that leads to healing, growth, and connection, rather than further pain and isolation. As we can see, our response to suffering has a profound impact on our own well-being as well as on those around us. In the face of suffering, we hold an immense power, the power to choose our response. This choice is like a beacon in the storm, guiding us towards healing and growth. It's easy to let suffering turn us bitter and spiteful, but choosing a response of kindness and compassion, that's the harder path. Yet, it's the path that leads to transformation. Think of suffering as a crucible, a place of intense heat and pressure. In this crucible, we can either be hardened and brittle, or we can be reshaped into something stronger, more resilient. Suffering can be transformative, not because it's pleasant, but because it forces us to confront our deepest fears and insecurities. By choosing kindness and compassion, we embrace the transformative power of suffering. We become not victims, but victors. By choosing not to inflict pain on others, we not only reduce their suffering, but also our own. To sum up, suffering is a part of life, but how we respond to it is entirely up to us. We've explored the universality of suffering. It's a shared experience that unites us as human beings. We've discussed how our response to suffering, how we choose to deal with it, is what truly defines us. It's not the pain itself, but our actions in the face of it that shape our character. We've also delved into the power of choice. The choice not to inflict pain on others, even when we ourselves are hurting, can be a profound act of compassion. It's a choice that fosters healing, not just for us, but for those around us too. So take a moment to reflect on your own responses to suffering. Consider how you can choose a more compassionate response. Whatever the cause of your suffering, remember, you have the power to choose not to inflict pain on others. In doing so, you choose healing and growth for yourself and those around you.